There are some Nigerians who, even though they are laymen, but they came up with this narrative that it's too early for Nigeria to celebrate. Looking at the figure released on Wednesday and the performance so far, do you agree with this argument? And what are the things that should be done to be able to sustain this tempo of development and performance?
Well, I will say yes and no. Yes, on the optimistic basis that the policy of the government will continue to yield the positive results. But there's something in capital market theory that is called the January effect. The January effect says that whatever happened in January is likely to happen for the rest of the year. If January is this rosy for the Nigerian Stock Exchange, you can only hope that the January effect will last throughout the year. But we must not forget the fact that we are operating in a very volatile environment where anything can happen. We just hope that negative events will not truncate the positive development of the capital market in particular and the Nigerian economy in general. Just yesterday or thereabout, there was another massacre in Plateau State. Yet government has voted over 3-point-something billion on defense. And we hope that this instability, there are rumors of increased kidnapping, maybe in the southwest and things like that. Insecurity and political instability may be a major factor that may truncate the development of the economy and the gains that have been modestly made. Ogun just impeached Speaker. Kubara is having problem in Rivers. There's going to be election in Plateau for House of Assembly as police, tear gas, political. Kano is not yet all that settled. A lot of political hiccups here and there, here and there and there. So we hope that determinant of growth include political stability. Determinant of growth include stability of the foreign exchange. Determinant of growth include stability and lowering of inflation rate, because any gain that you make, inflation can wipe it off. Because when you now look at the economy, I mean, the gains in real terms, by the time you deflate, if inflation is too high, you know, financial regulators may try to say that, okay, instead of using historical cost accounting basis, let's start using current cost account to now look that in line with inflation, what is the real value of the financial statements we are posting? We hope that we will not get to that level, that inflation can be close to 30% now. So if inflation can be tamed, political instability can be reduced, security can improve, food security especially, because every day you go to the market, you find that food security is one of the main factors pushing up the inflation index. And food security is aligned with security of the farmers. And the exchange rate is also there, although the government adopted 80 naira per dollar as the exchange rate for the budget. But the question is, with exchange rate over 1,000 naira, can the 800 naira per dollar be sustained? And then we must not be immune to what is happening in the global environment. One of the factors that have helped Nigerian stock exchange is globalization. Whatever is happening in other realms have impact on Nigeria. For instance, the 2008 meltdown impacted heavily on Nigerian capital market, and that's why we hope that all these warmongers can actually sheath their sword and allow the world economy to settle down, because it can also affect the Nigerian economy.
Right. So now looking at the all-time gains recorded, on Wednesday by the stock market, what will be the economic implication of this, and then what kind of value is this going to add to the Nigerian stock market?
In the first instance, when you look at the performance of the market, it is an indication that it's a very attractive market. And therefore, it's going to attract foreign investors, it's going to attract local investors, but we must now make all those indices to be positive because of the fact that we hope that this foreign investment that may pour in, that are pouring in, may not be hot money. Hot money are investors that are purely speculators. They come into a booming market and they try to take advantage of the increase in prices and increase in market value. And when they suspect that anything may happen, they may pull out. If they pull out gradually, it may not have a bombshell effect. But if they pull out in bulk, you find out that it's like pricking the balloon and things can deflate fast and deteriorate. So we hope that the interest of investors in the market will be sustained. And where this is sustained, we'll find out that the growth can continue. There should be efforts by the government and by the by corporate Nigeria to ensure that all factors that will make the economic boom are present and available. For instance, expansion of the real sector, and that is why when you are looking at it, the target of the government to reach $1 trillion economy very soon is a very high task, and the government by default is operating a deficit budget. That notwithstanding, what we are trying to say is that a lot of hurdles that are still around shackling the market must be removed. And this is very complex because a lot of things are intertwined together. Security intertwined with agriculture, political stability intertwined with market performance, food security intertwined with inflation. And that is why there is the need for Nigerian banks' capital to be increased so that they will be in a stronger position to actually finance those people that require financing. And consumer finance must also be paid attention to, create a much more credit-based economy that can allow people to have access to fund for consumption purposes. If this access to fund for consumption purposes is there, you find out that it will impact on the production sector that will need to improve their output in order to meet consumer demand. And by the time this increased output is there, productivity will increase in terms of GDP, will be boosted, and the economy will expand, and you will see sustained development in the capital market. To further sustain the capital market, we must give kudos to the regulators who have the task of struggling with a complex economic society like Nigeria, like the Securities and Exchange Commission and the CBN and PENCOM, that have brought a lot of innovation and regulatory relaxation to improve the performance of the market. And they still need to do more. They need to do more in the area where Nigeria economy has deficits. We are not hearing a lot about real estate investment trusts, but real estate is an area that will be developed. A lot of effort, encouragement by PENCOM, intervention by NHF, but the real estate is still one of the areas where Nigeria can actually make additional gain. And the capital market has a lot of role to play. The telecom sector, the ICT sector, they must all be boosted because these are the drivers of the gains on Nigerian economy without back saying that the banking sector is also playing a role. So there should be sectoral diagnosis. Look at which sectors are boosting the exchange and what methods or measures can be put in place to ensure that their growth and bullish stride increase, and which are the sluggish sectors of the economy as measured by their sectoral index, and what can be done. Thank God that even insurance is trying to shake his body and come up. And there are a lot of efforts to be done to further develop the insurance sector, especially the life insurance sector, as a purveyor of investment in that sector. So to ensure that the run continues, government has a role to play, regulators have a role to play, and the operators, I mean, the economic agents have a role to play. Nigeria is still a lot informal. The informal economy is still very, very huge. Efforts should be made to make this sector to become formal. There are a lot of, for instance, we use a lot of keke napep in Nigeria. Go to any nook and cranny of Nigeria. But are these things being produced in Nigeria? Is the multiplier effect of the transportation sector being felt in Nigeria? That is a sector too that the capital market must encourage, sustain. Government must look into it, because the transportation sector is the driver, is one of the main driver of any economy.